episode of the Cooligans. In the first segment, we talk about a lot. We talk about Goa. We come up with we teach you about a shot you probably never heard of. It happened at the Dominican Republic. They lost, unfortunately, to Bermuda, but it was the cross cum shot. Plus, there's so much. We talk about the men's national team and everything that's happening with that, and R.I.P. to Weston McKennie.
Well, that sounds very bleak. He's doing totally fine. In the second segment, we're talking to the keepers from the Keeper Institute. We talked to Tori Corsaro, Maria Loyden, and Jill Loyden, giving us all the insight on all things keeper because their heads are kind of weird inside. They're kind of crazy.
They let us in.
But we get to see their sensitive sides. Also, all this and more today on the Cooligans!
Hey, this is Alexi Lawless. There is nobody in U.S. soccer that is more important than the Cooligans.
Yeah, baby!
Let's go! Let's do this!
Goa!
República Dominicana! Oh!
Out! Cuba going through.
Pour some Brugal out for DR.
And see your cousins slide under the bottle with their mouths open.
Welcome to the show. I mean, we're going to rush right through. There's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot going on. International break.
There's
no break for Cooligans, though.
we got as they say on Jesus and Muro, illustrious guests.
We got illustrious
We
guests.
also have some illustrious guests.
We also got some illustrious gifts.
That's right. They do illustrious guests. We do illustrious gifts.
Yeah. You can have all the people you want. We want them shipments coming in.
Shout out to, we'll give a shout out to a couple people in the
start with shouts to us for getting gifts, though.
It's really on. We've climbed so far.
Look how far we've come.
We've gone, this is really the achievement that everybody's trying to go after. It's just like, what's your gift game like?
I know, right? What's your swag bag looking like, dog?
You're looking kind of light there.
I know. Can't come at me. Oh, you get millions of dollars in advertising? That's cool. What about them free swag type gifts, though?
Exactly. That's where we're setting ourselves apart from the rest. No other soccer podcast can compete.
Go to my accountant. We're losing money, so I ain't paying taxes. What's up with all your clothes being of the same brand? Nah, I gotta go.
We're hemorrhaging funds. But you know what? We got lots of teas.
We're
and
hemorrhoiding gifts, though, because they popping up every week.
Welcome to the show. My name is Christian Polanco.
And I'm Alexis Guerrero.
Together we are the Cooligans. We are your favorite stand-up comedians that host a soccer podcast. It is not only the funniest soccer podcast that you've ever listened to, it is also what?
It's the gulliest soccer podcast.
That's right. And you know what? I think we're making the American soccer world a little gullier day by day.
People are now starting to reach our gully levels.
Yes.
Other gullometers. Amazon sold out of gullometers. You go on there and search, you can't find any.
So
and it's MLS clubs that are trying to get
MLS clubs are like, yo, these Cooligans, they kind of fly. I think we got to start talking like them.
I think we got to start sending some gifts. We're waiting.
We're here.
We got one pizza box. Thank you, Orlando City. Shouts to Orlando City.
So, but no, Minnesota United for the win, coming through on Twitter. Yo, they use the word gully.
They hit us in the replies, my guy.
Okay? Not the DMs. They were like, yo, we're going to make this public.
We need the world to see this just before our stadium opens. We need the world to see two things, Allianz and the fact that we gully.
So you had from the Cooligans, we had retweeted the video
of the supporters chanting in an empty stadium.
Because
empty as far as the field.
It was
jammed.
It was like
a soft open,
a soft for the season ticket holders so they can see the stadium and
Talisman was there. Talisman Caps. They loaded some pictures of them just walking.
Talisman. Yes, Mr. Talisman.
Sir Talis was there. They loaded some pictures up on their account. So you could see people were, as you scroll.
Yeah.
And if you follow people from Minnesota, shouts to True North Elite, shouts to Dark Clouds. You could see people were loading pictures of them, stories on Instagram of them walking through the stadium. It's pretty dope looking.
Exactly. And so the video itself was pretty cool. Seeing all the fans sort of already preparing for what it's going to look like when the games start happening.
Yeah.
But after we had shared the video, Minnesota United hit us up in the replies with we're just trying to keep it, quote, We're just trying to keep it gully as possible.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Well, success.
Okay, welcome to luxury.
Yeah. People all the time. We get this all the time. Executives of MLS, first thing they asked me when I saw one of them was, what does exactly mean to be gully? Using the word gully on Twitter.
That's a good sign.
I got to be honest, you're in the building, all right? We're not sure what level, but you're gully.
Exactly, all right? You got through security.
Yeah. Because you so gully, you like, get out my face.
You just mushed the security guard and got right in there.
Which is not illegal. That's how you get into the gully building.
I'm going to have to say this might be the first time an MLS club on any platform on social media has used the word gully. I don't know. I've been keeping track since 1994 or whatever.
The guy we have at the seismometer. See, what's the thing that measures earthquakes?
A seismograph.
You know, the guy is like asleep. He wakes up to the first sound.
Yes,
that's the gully seismograph. The seismogully of.
That's been my job for the last 25 years.
Harry did nothing until that one day.
But no, how cool is that?
It's the coolest.
Nice feeling just to see that. So okay, shouts to you, Minnesota United.
And shouts to us.
I don't know who's running Minnesota United social media, but yo, you're doing it right.
Yeah, you gully as hell, dog.
You gully as hell. It's time to walk in, your boss's office.
Put your Tim's right on his desk.
Demand that raise that you deserve.
It's about time I get in on some of this TAM we seem to have so much of.
Cause you be sprinting it around to all these other dudes.
I be seeing all these signings.
Yeah, man. Yo, I saw the team last season wasn't doing that great. Okay,
we wasn't popping.
It wasn't popping like we are now. So where's that money?
Where's that? Well, give me some of that that TAM, that YTF. Give me some of it.
So
also, I want to edit right now. We're gonna live edit. You say all the time when you start this podcast that we are a soccer podcast. Nah, son. We the soccer podcast.
Okay, I mean, that's factually incorrect, but okay.
We're the soccer podcast.
Sure.
Everyone else is an association football podcast. We are the soccer podcast.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Shouts to us for being the soccer podcast.
Glad we stopped the show for that.
Live edit.
So we usually start the show. If this is the first time you're listening, we usually start the show by showing love to the people who show love to us, and
people who say shouts to us, we shouts out them.
Exactly.
Right?
I don't know. I think this.
I hope you don't mind me using the Queen's English.
I feel like English is not why you come to listen to the show. Yeah.
Facts, soccer talk, English.
Nothing.
None of those.
Accuracy. No, not here.
Why? Yo, go one of them boring ass podcasts. We ain't got none of that.
But we did get a review in, and this was probably
this is on paper.
Yes, this is
someone mailed us a 5-star review. The first.
This is through carrier pigeon, I believe. So we have a review. You want to read it?
Yeah, this comes to us from Fishtown FC, which we've retweeted. We've shown them love. We've talked about them on the podcast.
They have those John kits.
The jersey with the John on it, right?
Yeah.
With the John as the sponsor. Fishtown is a neighborhood in Philly, if you don't know. It's where my arch nemesis had a pizza place that is now closed.
Is that real?
Yeah, no, for real.
Who's your arch nemesis?
There's a long story. He's my arch nemesis. I don't have to talk about it. Just for real. It's a long story. But also Pizza Gut is out there. Shouts to Pizza Gut over at the Win-Win Bar. I believe that's the same neighborhood, if I'm not mistaken. But I know he's not that far from there. And that's a great pizza place. And the dude's actually going to open up his own pizza shop soon. So look out for that. That's kind of dope. Maybe y'all could do something together with Fishtown FC. So here we go. Alexis and Christian, 5-star review. No subject. The subject is just Alexis and Christian. We'll go with that. Thanks for the love on Twitter and the pod. No doubt. You guys keep us laughing, and we truly enjoy the content. Enjoy the T-shirts. We would have sent the John kit when they come out, but AC Fairhill is getting all the proceeds from them. Come to Philly soon. Love, FTFC. So I did not know that. We were sharing the John kit. That all that money goes to, I believe it's a charity, AC Fairhill, unless it's just like some rich guy. Hello, this is AC Fairhill.
Welcome to AC Fairhill Industries.
Yeah. Welcome to the palace of AC Fairhill. I am Sir AC Fairhill. I will get all the money of your kid.
Yes, I don't imagine that's the case. But yes, we did get these T-shirts. Thank you so much. You don't have to apologize. We get so many gifts. It doesn't matter what the gift is.
No, I appreciate the apology because I was kind of looking forward to one of those kits. But don't worry about it, yo. If you want one of those junk kits, go buy it. Go to go to fishtownfc.com or check them out on Twitter, FTFC, Fishtown FC.
And all the proceeds go to AC Fairhill, which is I believe is the cousin of the Koch brothers.
Yeah. His middle name is Unilever, so pretty powerful guy.
But he's not going to say who he's related to.
No.
You're going to have to guess.
He won't say what side of World War II he was on.
You think he knows there were two sides to the story. Two sides. Okay.
Good people on both sides.
Yeah, I learned it from the guy who Mueller found nothing on.
Yeah. Thanks for wasting 2 years of our lives, buddy. You think AC Fairhill knows Oxnard Guerreros? You think they went to the same boarding school?
Sure. I think they attend the G8 together.
Yeah, the Bilderberg meetings. Hello, Oxnard. Good day to you, AC.
Isn't it good to just be on top? Anyway. So thank you so much.
Shall we eat another baby?
Again?
I'm famished.
We have the same thing every year.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, wow, trust me, this is the soccer podcast.
Thank you.
According to Mr. Oxnard Guerreros. For
those who don't know, Oxnard is the genius brother of mine.
That's right. And also, they're a club in California.
They're a club in Oxnard, California, called the Oxnard Guerreros. But we just made that into my smart brother, the guy who did all the opposite shit that I did.
So let's. There's so much to talk about. We have a great guest coming up. Jillian Loyden and Tori Corsaro.
Yeah.
Goalkeepers. We're gonna have we haven't had goalkeepers on this show before.
No, we haven't.
So we're gonna get really into it and talk about.
We've talked about we hung out with Louis Robles.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But we've never actually had on goalkeepers.
Exactly.
And they run a goalkeeping academy as well.
Exactly. So there's going to be a lot that we're going to talk about.
And they have stuff to do with
Sky Blue. Yeah, Jillian was the goalkeeping coach for Sky Blue as well. So we'll talk about that stuff as well. But let's start with Gold Cup, right? Because we now know officially who will be a part of the Gold Cup this summer. And we know...
Cuba!
Yes, that's their intro song. That's their intro music every game.
Whenever they score a goal.
So, yes, that is why we're excited because Cuba did make it into the Gold Cup. I believe this is the first time. I'm not 100% sure about that, but probably. That's a safe guess.
Yeah. Some would say it's the first time they've played soccer. Where's the Gold Cup taking place?
All over the U.S.
All over the U.S.
Is, yeah.
Is there a chance that I could go to a Cuba match?
You asking for my permission? Or?
No. Do you think there's a chance that they play locally, that I could go to one of the games and hold up a Se Murió Fidel sign?
You know what? According to, I think, USSF, that might be a political statement that they might have an issue with.
But I don't think they read Spanish. Well, how about this? I'll hold it up, get it on camera, and then I'll get arrested and they'll take it away. But at least
they won't arrest you. They might take it away from you.
I'll pull another one out. You can have that one. Blat out.
Hey, that's fine. It would be a lot of fun. I'll tell you that much.
We should petition Law and Order to make that the new interstitial.
So we know what teams are gonna be in there. Obviously, the U.S., Mexico, the big old teams, Jamaica. I think so. The couple of the surprises,
all these Goliaths to our David.
A couple of the surprises are El Salvador made it in, Nicaragua. And then Bermuda also for the first time.
Bermuda looked good though.
Bermuda against. So we'll talk about that game in a second. But so Cuba
right after you're done Crying.
Cuba did play against Haiti, but they lost. But they had a great goal differential, and because of that, I think who was it that they played? I think it was St. Kitts.
Yeah, it was St. Kitts or like what was it, Grenada maybe?
Yeah, it was one of those.
Yeah,
and they scored like 14 goals.
14 goals.
So when you score 14 goals on a team, that's gonna do really good for your goal differential. All right, you're looking like Man City right now.
Yeah.
So the last so if you guys remember a couple months ago we were talking about Cuba and DR. They played about 3 months ago.
What was the result of that? I don't remember.
You probably don't remember.
I don't
to be
remember.
honest.
No, I do remember.
It was 1-0 to Cuba.
Yeah.
So they which obviously turned out to be a very, very important game, especially for the Dominican Republic. It was a huge win.
Had you have won that, you would have probably qualified after this loss.
Probably. DR didn't have the great goal differential, so it still would have been fairly tough, but they probably could have made it in. So that loss to DR turned out to be that loss to Cuba for Dominican Republic turned out to be kind of basically the difference, and why Cuba is sort of in. So
thank you
to some degree. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, shouts to DR for losing that game though.
They played against Bermuda. I don't know how much people are paying attention to Nations League. So if you don't know, these matches were CONCACAF Nations League matches, and this also determined what leagues everybody was in for.
Right. So they break nations down in CONCACAF into like divisions, if you will.
Exactly. For promotion and relegation.
Right. So there's a top tier of nations, right? Your US, your Mexico.
And Cuba. Cuba is also in League A. Because of their result.
Are we really? For real?
Yeah, they are.
Bro, where we belong, okay? So let me rephrase that. Cuba, USA, Mexico, all in the same league.
Yeah, in that order.
And Canada, I think, is in B. I think
Canada's in A
in A as well.
Then they ain't that trash.
No, I thought something happened where they got moved down. But so in other words, these games matter in the sense that you can get promoted and relegated as a nation.
Yes. Yeah. So now, and just like it's happening in Europe with the Nations League, same idea. These were sort of kind of the leagues themselves are going to. You're going to be playing with a similar level of talent, and the hope is to excel
as you become better.
Yeah, so you will kind of know from a nation perspective
where you sit,
and also the hope is that there's a real incentive to improve. I mean, we talk about Pro Rel all the time and how it will make teams better because there'll be something at stake.
Pressure
they don't want
better.
They don't want to get demoted.
So let's see it happen in real life.
And now, I mean real life.
You know what I mean? Like, we've never done it.
Soccer's very real. I don't know if you...
Oh, no, it's not just FIFA. What have I been doing for these 3 years?
I thought it was a simulation, man.
Oh, no, dude. It's broken, man. I think what I'm saying is everyone espounds the good nature of promotion and relegation and says like, oh, it would be great if we did it. Well, we're kind of doing it now.
Exactly.
So let's see it in action. Let's see it in real life.
Yeah, it would have been so great to see DR in the Gold Cup, obviously, and playing in League A, playing in these bigger games. The Dominican national team, the players were like literally in tears at the end.
Yeah, they just collapsed.
If you didn't see, look, so in general, this is fairly like an exciting time for CONCACAF, right? So if you are a fan of American soccer, a fan of just the CONCACAF, Caribbean soccer, all this stuff, there's so many these just by having Nations League, we're sort of adding this new layer of excitement towards because international,
but people still kind of like bitching about the Nations League. They're like, it's still not that significant. I think once you see how this first run turns out, and people see like, oh, there's actual consequences to losing these games. These aren't friendlies anymore. Now, I think people will be like, oh, like DR fans will be like, yo, all right, now we got to show up. We got to cheer even more.
Exactly.
Because we got to get them back up.
The Nations League is going to get more people from these smaller countries.
Right.
And fans of, the people that have ancestry from those countries in the U.S., to get just more excited about honestly in the last ever since going to Rebel games, going to NYCFC games, and now paying attention to how often I see Dominicans that are into soccer, and that's just a great feeling. I'm like, oh, cool, damn dorky Dominican like me, this is great. We weren't like just solely focused on baseball and stuff like that.
Or reggaeton.
Oh, reggaeton. I mean, that's still part of my life.
Of course. I mean, what I'm saying, it's not the sole focus.
But
Like as great as Cuba is at soccer,
I was genuinely distraught. You know, the DR, they started off hot, got that first goal, right?
I'm doing air quotes for goal.
It counts. They all count the same. It was off.
It's like your mom throwing the basketball, like, you need to stop. And you're like, oh, my God. Mom, I got a J.
My mom is LeBron James.
No.
Whoa.
It's all a simulation.
But no, Dominican Republic, we have posted it on our Instagram and on Twitter.
By the way, that's true because your mom's not going to the playoffs.
What is that? A mom burn?
Yeah.
I don't even.
Your mom got burned.
Anyway,
LeBron mom. Anyway,
but they did score an insane goal from a player's name. His name is Enmi Peña. Enmi, that's his name. That's
in your what?
No. So look, well, you're gonna understand. The more we talk about Dominican soccer players,
yeah.
The more we talk about Dominican people,
the wackier the name's
gonna get. All right, it's gonna sound.
Cuba's not that far behind.
It's gonna sound like we're hitting a soundboard, like making little sound effects. Enemy.
You know that game where you move the tiles and there's the one tile missing so you can move them around?
Yes.
Imagine those were letters and you just messed around with it and then you grab the third row across. That's how Cubans and Dominicans pick their names.
So
your name is Yilenga? All right. I'll write it down.
I love playing Yilenga at bars. You pull out the little bricks and
it's very hard when he falls.
When you're drunk, I
didn't ask you your license plate. I asked you your name. Oh, that's your name. Okay, cool.
So there was a goal after a throw-in, and it was these are called cross come shots. You know that? One
more time.
Cross come shots.
Oh, because it's a cross that becomes a shot.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, that's it.
For a second there, I was like, I'm gonna need that one again.
Right, where you don't know if it's a cross or a shot.
Right. Or cross come shot, like it becomes a shot.
Yes.
What I'm saying.
Yeah. You don't have to say it so slowly.
Cross. Come shot. Oh, I didn't know you scored on a cross. Come shot. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's weird that you paused there. Seems almost intentional.
Nah, I don't know what you're talking about. We are the soccer podcast. Why would we do that?
So, an insane, obviously, I think it was definitely a cross, but he's kind of...
Tim puts that's nasty.
Slices the ball.
Yeah.
And
it was almost an Olympico. Not from a corner.
Yeah, but almost maybe like a yard or two away from like where you would take a corner and went in. But I think this was what the downfall of the Dominican Republic was. They scored too early. You know,
they got too big on themselves.
Exactly. This is why the women don't want to give it up to Dominican men so quickly.
Yeah,
because they get all in their heads and be like, "Yo, I got this for life."
I know, right? The players were out there just tweeting about what club they're going to go to. You got all big in your head, man.
Exactly. And Bermuda were good, and they have I forgot the guy's name, but he plays in QPR. So they have one dude from there.
Yeah. We were talking about him over text.
They have Zico Lewis, who if he got drafted
great coconut water.
Okay. Zico. I never heard of it. Okay.
Yeah, you have.
All right. So Zico Lewis was the guy. He got drafted by the Red Bulls 2 years ago, and he was like a late first round draft pick, and he was the guy who was like, I'm going to prove them all wrong.
Yeah,
right?
I remember him.
And he didn't because he got sent to Charlotte in the Independence.
But he proved Dominican Republic who's who. Okay.
But he did. I mean, you saw in really 2 or 3 players, Bermudan? Is that their, what you say? Bermudese? I don't know. Anyway.
Bermudian? No, Bermudan.
Bermudan feels
probably
right.
Bermudan. We'll wait for Tim to text us.
You saw that in they had 2 or 3 players that were just better, right? Yeah. And so then I started and so it was amazing because after the loss, I got all these messages. I got DMs, tweets, all these people from Platano Phone, the homie from Platano Phone. Man. He was just like, yo, furious. And we were just like trying to figure out who to blame. Yeah. Now it feels mad. It feels great to be like, yo, I'm mad at the Dominican FA. Yeah, you know, we should be better than this, you know?
Somebody next to you was like, gang of hassle? Who is that? It's hard to explain.
Gang FA? FA. Anyway.
FA, that's my cousin.
So
Bermudian refers to something of or related to a Bermuda or a person from Bermuda. So we were both right.
Thank you, Tim. Shout out to producer Tim.
All right, Tim.
So
I can follow in whatever his name is.
So look, this is I forgot somebody had I want to look up the tweet. Somebody had tweeted this to me that they were like, you should do a Dominican Taylor Twellman rant. Like, what is going? What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? ¿Qué estamos haciendo, coño? We should. That's what we need. But
¿Qué estamos haciendo?
So this is where, like, now at this point, I honestly feel the Dominican Republic, they won their first 2 games and they had a really good goal differential. They should have made it to the Gold Cup, right?
Absolutely.
And how do they make it to the World Cup? By getting
Gold Cup.
What?
You said World Cup.
I said Gold Cup.
You just said World Cup.
I say Gold Cup. Don't worry about it.
You just said World Cup.
Yeah, sure.
You 100% did. Tim?
So how do they make it to the Gold Cup?
Yes.
They have to get players that want to end up playing for their national team, right? And we've talked about this ad nauseum, right? There's so many Dominican players.
But I think this is what's going to change it. What we were just talking about before. If the Dominican FA, right, can say to a player that is half Dominican and lives in Spain, right? Or grew up, was born in the Dominican Republic and moved to Spain or to Germany or another country, right? And they could say, hey, you're not going to make that team, but you could play for us and you'll help us get from Division B to Division A. Mm-hmm. That's something worth noting.
Of course.
The problem with guys like Mariano Diaz is what are you going to help Dominican Republic do? They're never going to get into the World Cup, so you're never really going to help them do anything.
But
so you're wasting your talent there.
But is he going to get on Spain's national team?
He could. They don't have strikers.
They're not calling him up.
He's also dark skinned, so probably not. All right, shouts to Spain. We know what you about, bro. So. This is an opportunity to get some of those guys that maybe just a level below Mariano Diaz. And maybe Mariano can't get on that team. And then you could say, hey, fine, we may not make it to the World Cup, but you know what you could do? You could help us get to Division A and Gold Cup, and we'll have an opportunity in the Gold Cup.
That's the
maybe not Mariano, but someone just below.
Well, there's so that's what I was getting messages of other Dominican players that play in Spain and are also like on this.
On the cusp,
and where they don't play, they don't play for DR because obviously I understand why you wouldn't want to play for DR, especially when you're playing in Spain in La Liga and you're around. You see like sort of the quality and the resources. Right. So I understand that, but like. It's fucking infuriating, right? Like there should be a couple people.
You would understand it. You'd make that same decision. You wouldn't play for La Patria.
I'm just saying that it's for
what would you do?
Dominican soccer fans that I think more people should make the sacrifice. Because
but now you're
the Bermudan players are doing it, right? They're not trying to go play in England. They're not trying to like even though they might have a dual nationality.
Raheem Sterling could have played for Jamaica.
Yeah, he could have.
So not everyone's doing it. What would you do in that situation?
But the players that are not...
If you were a fringe player, what would you do?
If I was a fringe player, I would go play for DR.
Fringe meaning there's a slight chance you can make it if you try a little harder. You get a little better. You develop. Maybe the English FA is saying, hey... we're watching you. Maybe you come into like one of their...
It would depend on like maybe my age. If I was like 25, 26, I was on that cusp and somebody's telling me, oh, if I tried a little harder, I could probably get into Spain. Then I wouldn't do it. I would be like, how much time do I have left? How many years can I give? 2, 3 years or 4 years of my talent to my national team and maybe have like this incredible story. So I understand the players that are like 19, 20 years old, like Junior Firpo, who plays at Real Betis, who was born in DR, but is now a Spanish citizen.
Yeah.
And he plays for the U21s for Spain.
Because he's going to get in the team.
There's a very good chance he's going to get.
If he doesn't make the senior squad, which a lot of players from the U21 and U23 end up not making the senior team. If he ends up not making that senior team, he's going to go to DR. He's not just going to sit there and wallow.
I agree. But there's
and DR could probably benefit from like your 27 through like 32-year-old players.
Sure.
That are a little bit more wily, a little bit more sort of sage, coming in and sort of making that change.
Yeah. So that's kind of like where after the loss, I'm just like, yo, man, they it's not that they're a bad team. They did pretty well. And as far as in the Nations League qualifying, they played several games and they were one of the better teams. And then just in these last 2 games, it just kind of fell apart. But you would think.
Where's my man from that? Where's the dude that plays for OK Energy? OKC.
I don't think he played in this game. But I know who you're talking about.
We're trying to get him on the show.
Joshua, I forgot his last name, but I think Garcia, I think his last name. Yeah. I don't think he played, but yeah, it's just like the team is not, the quality is not super high. Right. And a lot of the guys that do play like in Panama, they play in the second division in Spain and things like that. So it's like, you understand the case, but it was just like frustrating because it seemed like it just DR, a baseball nation, being able to get there would have been wild. That's all I'm saying.
Let's see what happens with Cuba. I was talking to someone who had recently gone to Cuba, Cuban dude, who had recently gone to Cuba, and he was like, yo, things are changing. It's like baseball's not even cool out there anymore. Okay. It's all soccer.
That's good.
That's great to hear.
It's exciting. All right. All right. Before we keep going, we got to give a shout out to our sponsor for today, SeatGeek. SeatGeek, thank you. Again, always looking out for you, looking out for the Cooligans. And all you got to do is very simple. All you got to do is download the SeatGeek app.
Get the app.
Get the app.
What are you doing? You got space on your phone.
And if you look, you want to go to any games, any events, really anything.
How about this? I always talk about this is my favorite thing. If you don't know what's happening around you, maybe you're at like a bar or something, and happy hour's over, and you're kind of bored, and you're like, I wonder what's happening around me. Just pull up the app. It knows where you are. It finds all the events around you, and it tells you the best deal. It's lit up green, orange, red. It tells you exactly which one's the best deal at the moment. Maybe there's an event you didn't even know what was happening, especially in a city like New York, or if you're somewhere like down in Houston or something, or in Chicago. You can't possibly know everything that's happening.
That's right.
Maybe there's a dope event you don't even know about. Pull out.
You ain't a socialite like us,
right? Come on, you ain't hanging out with Oxnard and AC Fairhill. You ain't, bruh. Right? So, leave that eyes wide shut party and download the SeatGeek app. And when you download it, it's going to tell you what's the events that are happening around you. It's going to give you a great deal. You're going to get an even better deal, especially if you want to go to one of these men's national team games, bro.
Exactly. Well,
all of a sudden they're like red bottom shoes. These things.
Yeah. Well, the game against Chile is today. But so you won't be able to get tickets to that. But the Gold Cup is coming up, and if you want to get tickets to Gold Cup matches, use SeatGeek. Download the app, and if you use the promo code Cooligans when you use the app for the first time in your first order, you'll get $10 off your first.
$10 off.
A little tenner.
You're getting a tenner. Who's on the 10? I forgot what president's on the 10.
I'm just surprised you have money, Alexis.
Well, it's not mine. I don't have a 10 spot. But whatever president it is, whatever previous slave owner
is on Alexander Hamilton.
All right, Alexander Graham Bell. Well, you're gonna get a little Hamilton in your pocket, okay? Yeah. Hey, if you want to go see Hamilton, you're going to get a Hamilton.
Exactly. So
just because of us.
Yeah, make sure you use the promo code Cooligans on the SeatGeek app, and you will get that discount. So let's move. Actually, real quick, you did mention, this is a weird story. I'll try to go through it because it's very, very much not soccer related. But I did, this weekend, I had a weird-ass weekend. I'll be talking about a friend that we both know, but I'm not going to say his name. But we're at a party, and he's like, yo, I got invited this swinger. I met this swinger lady, and she was inviting me to.
I already know who this is.
Yeah, so invited me, and he's like, well, I'm not super comfortable. She's like with some guy, and she basically wants to be with 2 dudes. Or
yeah.
And he's like, but I don't know her. I don't know this dude or whatever. I'm that weird out. He was like, can you go with me? so he's like, can you go with me? So I'm with my girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
So we're like, I'm like, I don't want to go. I mean, I'm not interested in going. But I don't really care. I'm like, basically, we were like the chaperones. So we ended up going.
Of course you did.
She was like, oh, sure, whatever. So we go. And
the girl pulls out a mask. Like, no.
We go, and very nice couple. I gotta say, they're very nice people.
So, almost too nice.
Too nice, I would say. Yeah, very, very. Literally walked in, dude, no shirt on. It was like that.
Hilarious.
But
were there a lot of other people, or it was just?
No, just us.
Oh God.
Just those. Yeah.
Was it one of those things where you met out for like drinks?
No. It was like at their place.
Oh God.
So it was like,
why would you walk into this?
Because I was concerned about my friend. You know, I didn't want him to be unsafe.
Our friend bails by immediately making out with you.
So, super weird, but then started talking to them about like their life, their lifestyle, and like why they do what they do, and they go to like these parties and do all this crazy stuff. And
immediately I'd be like, "Are you not afraid of getting every disease?"
sure, they're very much not, right?
Yeah.
So then after like maybe 30 minutes talking, again, pleasant conversation about very, very serious subjects.
Did they live somewhere nice?
Yeah. So after a couple of minutes, I was like, all right, well, we're not staying here. So like we got to go.
It's our time to leave, right, babe? She's like, well, actually, I was like, all right, babe.
So we're like, all right, we're gonna go, and that was the main concern. It was just like, does he feel safe and comfortable in this?
You didn't come up with a buzz question?
Well, it was just like, oh, we're gonna go get food. That was like the thing.
Are you hungry?
So we're like, oh, okay, so we're gonna go. We're starving. And he's like, no, I'll stay. And then he just stayed, and then we left, and that's it.
I'll text him right after this conversation.
So it was the strangest weekend I've ever had.
So there's 2 cross cum shots this weekend.
So, all right, back to soccer. Let's talk about a couple things. This happened last week when this happened. This was after, I think, right after we recorded when this came up. But MLS and Adidas had a fashion show.
They put on an event.
It was fashion. Do not deny its beauty.
Maybe I just don't get it.
But I mean, look, this is not we're talking about, American soccer being a part of the culture. The fashion world is, included.
Yes.
So this is...
And I wish they would have been included in this. It was sort of like I think the way Pablo Mauro put it was great. It was MLS kits were reimagined.
Yes.
They were sort of somewhat converted.
Yes.
One dude was just had on a goal net. That's it. He just had a net on his shoulders.
That's right. And it was like Lee Win was part of the fashion.
They turned the LAFC kit into a blazer.
Yes.
Into a kit, which we're obviously
completely down offended. Downvote. We downvoted it on Reddit. For sure. This in general was like just kind of weird, mainly because we're not used to MLS getting this sort of like kind of play.
I mean, it was an Adidas event.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're the ones.
It's easy to mock. It's easy to mock. But let's look at the positives, right?
I'm almost too shocked to mock. That rhymed, and I didn't want it
to. You were too stunned to make fun of it.
Yeah, I was too surprised.
So, I think there's something to be said, the fact that an event like this even happens, even though...
I disagree. I think this is a step in the same direction. It's like, we're going to do this, and then it's a little embarrassing.
Okay. I mean, look, some of the designs... were a little like, I don't know.
That's generous of you to call it a design.
Some of the designs look like it was, like third graders were like, we need to put something together because there's a fashion show tomorrow.
One guy was wearing a Columbus Crew jersey on his chest and on his legs. Not in the jersey, he was wearing it on. As if a very elaborate bib and a very elaborate apron.
Yes.
That's not fashion. You reimagine the kit by not wearing it?
Fashion, Alexis?
I'm more than that.
There were a couple weird ones. I think that we're not used to seeing American.
The FC Cincinnati one was the only dope one. It was like a ninja outfit kind of thing.
Yeah, that one was pretty cool. Yeah. The
NYCFC one was a woman wearing an NYCFC jacket and a blazer over it.
Well, it was a crop top NYCFC.
Oh, so they cut it. Cool.
So I was like, all right. Cool.
Oh, took scissors to it. Fashion.
We're not used to Major League Soccer being ever viewed in this environment, right? Where is Tyra Banks there? You know what I mean? Who's watching this?
I mean, look, it was a legit catwalk.
They take it very seriously.
Yeah.
It was just
the people. The models were, I think, kids. They were like teenagers. They weren't like adult models?
I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I mean, they seem like either teenager. I mean, models are young. They're always young. You can't have no old ass people being modeling out there.
Yeah, but I mean, they were younger than your typical catwalk models. At least from looking at them.
Oh, I
they looked it.
I couldn't. I was too.
That's why I didn't want to make fun of it on Twitter. They look like high school kids. And I thought they were the ones who designed this stuff. I was like, well, you all failed that class.
But you know what? Maybe this is an opportunity to like do an episode of Project Runway with like up and coming designers, up and come shot designers.
One of those would have been fine.
But maybe there's an opportunity there to like maybe do something a little bit more unique or a little bit, because it seemed like they dropped the ball a little bit on some of the designs.
When you have an opportunity to do like collabs with like brands and companies that are great, you do this instead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, no, go find a brand that's dope and be like, yo, go make a third kit for us. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like something like that. Like Parlay or Parley, however you want to pronounce it. Their stuff isn't amazing, but it's cool. It's different.
Yeah. I'm like, it's like I don't know exactly what to say.
They would have done the opposite. Like Parley takes the plastic and makes it into a thing. They would have taken a kit like, ooh, look at this New England Revolution. I made it into a cup. You know what I mean? This kid is a cup now because they ain't winning a cup this year. So I made the kid into a cup.
So
Shouts to New England. We get to go to our first Revs games.
Oh, that's right. We're gonna be there. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. It's difficult. I don't know how
look at it.
To look at it, but I don't know how much to make fun of it when there's like I applaud them a little bit for their effort.
Fine. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate their level of success?
Very low. I would say like a 3.
Okay,
it got people like retweeting, making jokes, and
it was so bad that it got a lot of engagement.
Okay, so that's kind of positive. That's a positive. Yeah,
we found a pro.
Yeah, no, that's
a sea of cons.
The internet. That's how it is nowadays. So that's fine.
It's kind of okay.
Yeah.
It was successful in that sense.
Like, is it going to get more people interested in going to a soccer game?
Absolutely not.
Which is
it might have the reverse effect.
Because that's the ultimate goal, right?
I guarantee you, there's people who saw that don't follow MLS and is like, is that an MLS jersey now? Is that how they wear it?
Be fascinating. If a team did that on one match and actually did wear the kits from the fashion show,
oh my God!
I mean,
actually making fun of the New England Revolution one, they didn't even really change it. They added white stripes to it.
Okay,
so you could do that.
Look at that, Jack White.
Columbus crew gonna have some weird tan lines.
It's looking like. And then, did you see the new Man City kit, which is a merger of the last 9 kits? Have you seen this?
It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. And I love gaudy. I love loud.
It's not great.
It is so bad.
It looked like it belonged in the MLS fashion show.
It looked like it was one that hit the cutting floor. Someone was like, "We can't possibly do this."
I mean, this one's going too far. But let's put a YouTube TV logo on Lee Wynn's suit.
Oh yeah, that's cool. But this epilepsy alert behind me, we can't possibly use.
Oh my goodness! So it was fascinating. So the let's talk about a couple of things before we move on. The U.S. did play Ecuador last week, winning 1-0. A goal from Giassi Zardes, golazo, maybe a deflectazo. That's the new name for it now.
What you don't know is he meant to do it. So,
but look,
Weston McKennie. That's the only story out of this.
Got hurt. Yeah, his ankle badly hurt. Looking like the dude from Portland.
Yeah, apparently he said it was his club Schalke said it's a ruptured ligament.
Yeah, he's fine.
But U.S. didn't say that. They said it was an ankle sprain.
Okay, well, it had just happened, so he flew back to Germany to sort all that out.
How about Pulisic getting sent back to Dortmund, huh?
Getting sent back to Dortmund.
He's gone back.
So did Tyler Adams as well. There's other players.
Oh, maybe it's not Pulisic. Maybe I'm thinking of Tyler Adams.
Yeah.
Tyler Adams got sent
I'm
back.
like, what are you talking about? Anyway.
Tyler Adams got sent back. That's not
to Dortmund.
normal.
Not to Dortmund.
No. That would have been big news. I know he got sent back to RB Leipzig.
They're trying to get...
yeah, but it's an international break. He doesn't have a game.
I know, but he's trying to prepare for, maintain a Champions League spot. And there's stuff to play for.
A little sketchy.
I think it's because Tyler Adams played right back, and I don't think... I don't think Berhalter wants to see him. I think he wants to see other players at that position and then at the defensive mid position as well.
I know, but we're also going against Costa Rica, which is...
We're not going against Costa Rica. We're going against Chile.
Okay. My bad. Starts with a C. You get what I'm saying. We're going against Chile, which is a big team.
Sure. But I think it's a friendly, and also Berhalter, you know what? After these last couple matches, three matches for Berhalter and 3 wins, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
He's looking good, and I want to put some respect on his name. I forgot to put 2 G's on the end of Greg when I tweeted his name. Did not know you had 2 G's, 3 G's in your first name.
You didn't know that?
No.
Okay. Well,
I don't pay attention to how words are spelled.
To spell. I mean, really, if there's ever any issue with typos or anything like that, it's
you got one.
I on my own personal Twitter account.
I had one.
It wasn't a typo. I just missed the word. But
that's considered a typo.
Okay, sure. But when
the most egregious of all typos is completely missing.
I always tell Alexis, I'm like, yo, man, when you're tweeting on the Cooligans account, can you just read it once more?
Nah, son, never. Would we be the gulliest if we had good grammar?
Yes, that's always the issue. But anyway, a couple other things to cover. What was it? LAFC. LAFC had a match against RSL that was incredible. That ended up with Walker Zimmerman scoring an insane goal.
One of the wildest goals from a defender I've ever seen.
Yeah. So so this happened in like the 91st minute, 92nd minute. He won the game. He won the game. And he's done this another time before. He did this last year as well.
With the header though.
The header, right?
Yeah.
So Walker Zimmerman sort of because he got the new contract. He's like, yo, that's it. I'm
show you. This TAM is worth something.
Putting it to good use. Yeah. Okay. So, but the goal that he did score, I thought that it was a deflection. It was like it was almost like a knuckler slider kind of.
It was a mini deflection for sure.
I didn't see a deflection at all.
We're going to sit here and argue about the.
But this is the interesting thing. So he was on Walker Zimmerman was on Extra Time radio. Extra Time. Sorry, the radio's gone. But. And he said that he thought it deflected. But I honestly think Walker Zimmerman, the guy who kicked the ball and scored the goal, is wrong. I think he's wrong. I don't see any deflection. I think it was like a center back.
I think what happened is it grazed the dude's leg, and that's why it's sent. Because if you watch, Raimondo doesn't even move.
Yeah, but I thought it was because it was that good of a shot.
You know what we'll do? We'll show our guests in the second segment in between. We'll show them the clip,
and they can
discern what happened because they're goalkeepers.
I mean, that's.
I mean, we're geniuses, but we're not goalkeepers. Okay, we can't decide. We know all words and stuff. Like we wild good with that.
The other game I wanted to cover: Rebels against Orlando City. Orlando City goes into Rebel Arena and gets a win. Gets a win. I mean, just like
Sasha Kleshtin had an assist or a goal.
A goal.
Wow,
dude. And celebrating a little bit too.
A little bit in front of the fans.
All right.
He was like, yo, remember me though?
Remember you, the guy you got rid of?
You want to give me that contract?
You wanted to bring a younger guy?
How'd that work out?
But I think...
Which is probably how that party ended that you left.
Well,
you want to bring in a younger guy? How'd that work out?
Okay.
Come on, huh?
Got it.
Come on.
All right.
You got to explain it's not that funny.
Yeah, exactly. That's
or the person you're talking to isn't smart enough. It could be that.
So... but I heard that after the game, Sasha Kleshtin had stayed around to sign autographs for
the Rebels players.
I know you miss me and your fan.
You're welcome.
But no, he still has a lot of love for the Rebels. Even though I think every time, especially with former Rebel players, because I think that club is a little I don't know. There's like you have a love for your team, but Rebels, because of the sort of strife that Rebels and Rebel fans have sort of dealt with for years over not being able to get that MLS Cup. I think it's very bonding
for sure
to each other, to their teammates, and to the fan base. So whenever a former player goes back and scores,
right?
I'm not going to say that Sasha Kleshtin did some backflip to celebrate, but he did show some joy, and I think to express that he wasn't totally happy that he was traded. But I think he had to do that, sort of get out of his system. But y'all fucked up.
Yeah. You should miss me. This should have been you.
Exactly. The other, Ryan Hollingshead scores for FC Dallas.
Hooligans effect,
Hooligan
baby.
effect is real. If you're on this show, you will be successful, or you will be traded to another team. So those are
it's one or the other.
That's where I'm glad it's working out better for Ryan Hollingshead.
Yeah,
so
great dude.
They ended up winning 2-1 against the Rapids, and shout out to David Akam scoring.
Yeah, condolences to his family. Yeah, his father passed away a couple days before
Father passed away, and
the way the rest of the players like sort of just jumped on him and helped celebrate him with him after he scored the first goal was great.
Yeah, beautiful. So they end up winning 3-0 against Columbus. And I wanted to point out a quick thing. We had gotten a message from a fan. John Zapata, who is
Parcero Union, right?
Philly. El Parcero Philly. I know he had just changed his name, so I think now he's part of Parcero United.
Parcero United is
now it's an umbrella of Parceros,
Latinos all over the country.
But I know he had tweeted this stuff, and apparently he had an issue because he was at a Union game. I think it might have been this game or the one prior.
Right.
But he was wearing a Columbia jersey with a Philadelphia Union scarf, and apparently someone, I don't know if it was like fans or security or I don't know exactly who.
Somebody made it clear that he wasn't welcome at the supporter section wearing a Columbia jersey.
So it sort of brought up the question of like especially
Latino inclusion. That's what he posted a video.
But I wouldn't call that Latino exclusion per se. I think it's more like the club, like if you're fans of a team, like when you're in, when we're in the NYCFC supporter section and somebody's wearing a different jersey, we've seen it. People get kind of annoyed. Not necessarily the opposing team.
Right.
They just like
I think it's worse if it's a club from a different league because it's like that's the only soccer thing you had, so you wore it.
Yeah.
A nation, I think, is a little different.
You think it's like not okay, or you think it's weird?
It's okay.
Okay, yeah. I would say if it's a nation, it's like totally cool.
But I mean, you can't wear like a France Zidane kit. You know what I mean? Like you got to wear just the nation. I think no player on the back or a player that played for a different team, that kind of thing.
I don't think it really matters. Honestly, for me, as long as it's not the team that they're playing against, you can't sit in the supporter section.
You can't wear a team from a different.
Just a different team. Yeah. Probably that too. I could understand why that's fine. But an international jersey, so there's implications also, right? Alejandro Bedoya is Colombian, so you could understand like maybe he's just a fan of Ale Bedoya and wanted Bedoya to see him or whatever. Like so,
so is Lil Pump. I mean, no one's bringing this up.
Lil Pump is Colombian?
Yeah, you don't know.
I thought he was Cuban.
No, he's Colombian.
Miami.
Yeah, no, he's not one of us.
We don't claim him.
He would have chocolate marks all over him if he was Cuban.
So that made it an international jersey. I don't really see what the big issue is, but whatever. I don't think
I understand you not wanting non-Philly jerseys in the supporter section.
Yeah.
But it's not like the guy was wearing the team you're going against.
Exactly.
So it's like, let it go.
Exactly. That's really what that's the message.
And he wasn't kicked out. He was just made to feel not so welcome at some point.
Yeah. Honestly don't know the exact details, and I don't want to speculate. But I know this was what was on Twitter and that it was apparently some issue. So, but I think this led to another conversation, which is just about Philadelphia Union fans kind of trying to include more Latinos. And that's sort of what he's trying to do. And he had asked us like, hey, what do you have any suggestions to try to get more Latinos in going to MLS games? And that it's a tough question. But
Empanadas.
Okay, well,
we got for the Red Bulls.
We got the answer.
Solved it. Couple of risas empanadas, right?
Done. Wrapped it up. That's why you come to this show.
Hell yeah! Plátano day. You get free plátanos. You come in and you fry them outside.
I don't know, man.
I'll be there.
Team's not doing so well. You throw a plátano on the pitch. It's kind of a weapon.
That's wild disrespectful too. I'm not sure what to think about this.
You gotta be careful. So
those are
but I think
very unripe.
I think it's a fair question, and I like that. He's trying to kind of gather up Latinos to go to Union games. So if you are listening and you are Hispanic and you live in the Philly area, maybe you haven't gone to a Union game in a while, hit up at El Parcero Philly and go together. Maybe you could go.
I think that's the important thing. I think it's the same thing that Black Arrow, when they started, were trying to do with San Jose. It's like, all right, there's not enough black dudes at this game. Like, his fans and his friends didn't go. So he was like, I'll collect a few.
Yeah.
We'll go grab, like, rent a bus. We'll go down there. We'll hang out, make a whole day of it. And it sort of spurs that sort of interest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I was listening to...
It's like what we're doing with comics. We're bringing other comedians to games.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I think that's what you do. Just get your friends who are Colombian or Latino and get them together. And if you have friends that are Latino that you aren't, and you maybe meet up with El Parcero's union, right? Philly. El Philly Parcero, whatever his name is. You get it. Zapata. Just get together with him.
Just
get empanadas.
Look,
I think we solved it already.
If you're listening to this show, this is Alexis's brain at all times.
Yeah.
This is how he cannot retain.
You know what it is? Is that I know he's not accepting the genius, right? He's just trying to put the words together in general sentences. That's not how my brain works. You think Copernicus did it that way? He probably didn't, okay?
So, but yes, I think it's so I was listening to For the Culture, their podcast.
Yeah.
The dude Ringo and Grego down in Atlanta, and Rox Fontaine was on, who's a NYCFC fan, he was a former president of Third Rail, and he made an interesting point. He was just like, the way I get more people interested in soccer is like, especially young kids. He's like, yo, I just ask them, have you ever been to a soccer game? Do you want to go? And I'll just get a ticket for a group of kids that want to go. Obviously, not everybody has that kind of money, but it's as simple as that. I was like putting it out there more, just talking about it, asking people if they've gone to games, like asking family members. You know, I brought my brother to a game. He never went to an MLS game before, stuff like that. So we can all kind of like do better with that. But hit up El Parcero Philly if you're interested in like helping him sort of with that cause. I think it's just a good thing to be doing.
Also, if someone at Philly Union or maybe Fishtown, I don't know if they go to the Union games. If someone from the team is listening, try to maybe bring Joey Zapata. What's his name? What's his name? I'm trying here. I know Zapata.
John.
I was so close. Jay-Z. Bring Jay-Z in, have a little meeting. You know what I mean? Maybe there's a way that the team can do something to increase some of that activity of Latinos at the game.
Okay. Right? Yeah. Maybe a chant, doop, 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 Colombia.
Union. It might work.
It all works. It
works for everything.
Okay. So we will wrap up this segment, and then we'll come back with our guest.
Real quick, though, shouts to Clubhouse
Oh, that's
Athletic.
right. Clubhouse Athletic. /
Edgewater Castle.
Edgewater Castle. Follow Edgewater Castle on Instagram, on Twitter. They are a team. They were on the show a couple weeks ago while we were in Chicago. We interviewed them. A team of predominantly immigrants and refugees in
Chicago. In the North Side. So dope.
They have provide an opportunity for people maybe underserved to be able to play soccer, and a great club doing great things. So and they even had CJ Sapong rocking a kit. I'm rocking a kit right now.
The same kid CJ Sapong was wearing.
Me and CJ Sapong are the same. We're the same people. We're equally talented and all that.
They sent me this dope jacket, which fits just a little tight.
A little tight.
Your boy's gonna get there. Okay, but for right now, we just folded it up quite nice. It's a little funky. You know how I like my stuff a little loud.
Yeah, it looks really, really dope. So get these kits yourself and follow Edgewater Castle because they're doing awesome stuff. All right, so we'll be back with Tori Corsaro and Jillian Loyden right after this.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for listening to the podcast. We just want to break in with a word from one of our sponsors, the event we're going to.
That's right, Project Goal. We're going to be hosting the Project Goal auction.
This is in Rhode Island, in Providence, Rhode Island.
That's right.
If you're in the New England area and you're not at this, what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? You have to look in the mirror and you're going to say, what's wrong with me?
You got to take some inventory of your life.
Really look into all the people you've affected negatively.
Including us.
Including us, yeah.
Which, by the way, shouts to us for going all the way to Rhode Island.
Go to projectgoal.org if you want to get tickets. It's a fundraiser. Project Goal is
they teach kids how to play soccer, but also the education.
Yeah, tutoring.
The education is an important aspect of it. And what's better, they try to help out kids that couldn't do this otherwise, couldn't afford to go to other academies otherwise. So it's something really near and dear to our hearts. If you can't go, just buy a ticket, dog. Just buy a ticket. You're going to help out a kid. You're helping out children.
Exactly. And we're going to be there also with Shaka Hislop, talking to him about a bunch of nonsense.
It'll My sister's excited because we're gonna be fundraising with a lot of cool stuff. In fact, autographed Mark Anthony swag.
Okay.
The singer,
All
not
right.
like the mechanic.
If knowing that the Cooligans were going to be there, it wasn't enough to get you to buy a ticket.
El Cantante was like, let me get in here and autograph some stuff for the Cooligans.
So make sure you go to that. So we're going to be in New England doing a bunch of fun stuff. So,
Yeah, by the way, if you get VIP tickets, you get to sit in on the Q&A with us and Shaka Hislop. You get to ask us any question you've always wanted.
That's right. So go and do that now.
By the way, there's alcohol at the event. I mean, come on.
Open bar.
You know what
It's
I'm talking
an open bar. So go to projectgoal.org and get tickets now. We're also going to be at the
New England Revolution game,
hanging out with the Midnight Riders. So if you're going
for their chili cook-off, we're going to be there.
So we're going to be at that.
You boys going to be snacking on some
So
chili.
that's on Saturday. And then we also have 2 stand-up shows.
We're both performing independently at 2 shows. So we're going to be at the Bad Bad show, which is at 52 Everett Street in Allston at Studio 52. And then right after that, we're going to hop over to Comedy at Bill's Bar over at Bill's Bar and Lounge on Landzone Street in Boston, Massachusetts.
So
we're going to be out there doing our chili-infused comedy at this point.
So make sure if you want to get tickets to that, just you can find the link on our Twitter account. Follow us there or Instagram.
They're both on Eventbrite. So look up the Bad Bad show, and you could look up Comedy at Bill's Bar.
So do that.
Bill's Bar Comedy.
All right, Boston heads. So that's where we're going to be this weekend.
That's right, wearing our Yankee gear. We ain't scared. Nah, I'm a Met
fan. So.
Yeah, we're good. We're probably going to be wearing Dominican flags just so we don't piss anybody off because you don't know what that is in Boston. So come out to both of those events. If you're anywhere near Providence, if you're anywhere near Boston, come hang out with us. If you're going to the New England Revolution game, go to that chili kickoff. Say what's up to us. We're going to be taking photos. We're going to be handing out stickers. We're going to be there. We want to be friends with you guys. Yeah, baby, we're back.
We are, and this is it's a full house.
Oh yeah, baby.
We're excited because we were talking about we were gonna have for the first time. We never really have goalkeepers on the show.
No, we've had players on before. We've never had goalkeepers.
But now we have. I think we have all the goalkeepers.
All of them.
We've fulfilled the allotment for like the next 2 years. All the goalkeepers are here.
I dare you to find another podcast that got this many goalkeepers on.
No, not even close. They're not even close. How many goalkeepers? Let's. I feel like you guys should introduce yourselves because we do have a lot of people. So please, you were on the show before. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Tori Corsaro. I work at the Keeper Institute with these guys.
Okay.
I'm Maria Loyden. I'm one of the owners of the Keeper Institute.
My name is Jill Loyden. I own the Keeper Institute, coach there, played pro for a bunch of years.
That's right.
Okay, so we've got the Keeper Institute. The whole thing is here.
So any questions that we have about goalkeeping, it's going to get sorted out
It's going to happen right now.
But we're excited to have you guys. And so, Tori, you were on the show before a couple
2 years ago.
2 years ago, and the way we that happened because we knew there was a comedian who we've known for years. Who you are is your relation is
Sister's boyfriend.
Sister's boyfriend.
Yes.
Okay, they're not married yet, so it's like it's not sister-in-law or brother-in-law kind of thing. So he had mentioned to us, he was like, hey, I know someone who's a goalkeeper, and then so we had you on the show and we were talking about your career. So I kind of want to start here and just sort of let's get back and figure out where Tori is.
Well, we promised our fans we would
2
follow up,
years
so this
later.
is it. We're doing it.
Here's the follow-up.
Yeah.
I thought you forgot. I've been waiting for the call.
So yes, you were playing. You were the last I remember. You were trying out for Sky Blue.
Yes.
Okay.
So we left off, and I was picking up my life to move to New Jersey to actually work with these two. I always say that I Kool-Aid man my way into their lives. I was like, all right, I'm coming. I need your training, and I want to be a professional.
It's one of those things where you're like, so what are we doing? And they're like, wait, who is this?
No, exactly.
become
Like,
a we?
Exactly what happened.
Spot on.
and who are you again? So it was pretty much that. And I moved there, trained there for a few months, and then ended up trying out for Sky Blue. Was fortunate enough to make it in that preseason, and then kind of hung around for the rest of the season, playing in practice, learning, growing with the girls, getting to work with these two pretty much every day. And while doing that, I also ended up coaching at the Keeper Institute. As I continued on, I played a little bit more, tried to go overseas, and then recently in these last couple of months decided that I was ready to be done trying to pursue a professional career and really kind of pick up at the coaching area.
Okay, so the reason your story was always so fascinating when we spoke, and a lot of people who listened were just like, this girl, like the kind of drive that she must have is incredible, because you are not the tallest of goalkeepers, and that was always the thing that stood out, right?
Yeah,
and
she's not.
So
that's a great advertisement for the Keeper Institute. Wait, she isn't? Oh my God, I never noticed that.
But is it okay to ask a woman's height? I don't know if that's like one of those things.
Yeah.
But
Especially in this profession.
okay, so what was your height again?
5'3".
5'3". So, and I
With
remember
heels. That's with
No,
heels.
it's not. You got a measuring tape
Yeah.
right here?
You've never seen platform boots, soccer boots before.
Check them out.
How tall? How long are those studs? They're about 7 inches.
Are you kidding me? If I could have gotten those,
Yeah.
so
I'd have them by now.
so I remember watching your like highlight reel, and that's the thing that stands out. I'm like, yo, this is a little baby in the net, but she's like making crazy saves.
Remember that? You know that GIF of the cat blocking the
little
scrum?
Yeah.
That's you. I was like, nothing's getting past this girl.
So so as soon as I saw that, that was like the thing that I think honestly it was a little bit kind of inspirational for people, because you almost sounded insane.
Yeah.
To the degree where you were like, I'm not gonna let this hold me back, and people have told me that I can't make it and all this other stuff.
Yeah, it seemed like you had heard all the reasons why you couldn't, and you were like, all right, I've got answers for all of them, which is what you need. I mean, you know, we're pursuing comedy, so you hear a million reasons why that's
It's like a
terrible
little bit
idea.
of delusion.
Yeah, you have to have, it's like that.
to.
You have to have like be humble but narcissistic at the exact same time.
Yeah, that's a great combo right there.
Yeah, I think this is why we get along with goalkeepers so much.
So it's good to hear that this is where you are now. So I think we can kind of pick up. So now, so Jillian, so Jill and Maria. So you guys, the interview went well, right? When Tori got there, and clearly she's on board. So we should talk about your career, Jillian. And you did play pro. You have a few caps on the women's national team.
Pretty dope.
Pretty dope. Okay, I know it's Tori's day, but let's talk about Jill. But what is I guess how did you get to where you are? What is the Goalkeeper Institute and sort of the goal for all of that?
I mean, yeah. So when I was like 10 years old, I went to the Olympics and I got to see our U.S. women's national team win an Olympic medal. And I turned to my grandmom that day and I said, I want to do that. And she laughed at me.
Okay.
She laughed at me, you know,
Hilarious.
similar to what people would say about Tori, how her dreams are crazy. And so I pursued this career. I got recruited only to 2 colleges. That was it. Villanova, Rutgers, went to Villanova, got some really good goalkeeper coaching, and that changed my life. And after that, became an All-American, played pro for a while on our national team for 5 years. And so I attribute all that success back to a good goalkeeper coach who like believes in you and wants to empower you with the knowledge that you need and motivate you. And so that's what we do in an area where there was nothing when I was growing up. So I started the Keeper Institute in 2013. Maria was my first hire. She's now my wife. Apparently, that's how it works.
What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing.
And now we get to work with hundreds of goalkeepers a year and help them chase their dreams.
What is the choice? Like, when I was a kid and I first played soccer, they made me goalkeeper because I was fat. They're like, kid, get in there. You know what I mean? And I wasn't good at it, right? So eventually,
Surprise.
I know. By the way, the lack of sandwiches back there, it really ruins it for it. But I eventually became a pretty good defender, but I didn't continue playing in high school. What is it about? How do you find a child, and what is it in a child's skill set that makes them want to be a goalkeeper? Because it's like, I want to play soccer, but I don't want to go out there and play it. It's like this. It's this weird position.
You know, when you see them ripping off the heads of Barbie dolls, they're a little different.
When something's a little off, that's usually the first cue.
Yeah. They take a snowball to the head and they don't flinch, like that kid's a keeper.
I think it's different for everybody. And
But you guys are now like have an academy. So like, what do you see in someone?
A lot of different kids.
When you see like, What happens when you see like a striker and you're like, nah, that kid's going to be a keeper in the future? What is it that you notice?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel like you said, the most unathletic kids are now goalkeepers.
Right.
But it was the opposite for me. I mean, we lost every game 6-0 that year, but I was the most athletic kid and I was the tallest kid, and then they put me in. And from my second game ever, I was a goalkeeper. And I think that our best athletes need to be goalkeepers, not our worst athletes. Like,
right.
Our
Okay.
goalkeepers have to be so quick and powerful and be able to turn on a dime and like organize and communicate and have those leadership skills, where someone who's unathletic you're not really going to do well as a goalkeeper. But,
No, it's true. There's facts. You're literally staring at it.
There's empirical evidence.
Yeah.
I think also it's just being courageous as a kid, and like you said, not being afraid to take a ball off the face. And for me, I played on an all boys team when I was a kid, and none of the boys wanted to play in the goal. They just wanted to play on the field because they were scared of getting hit with the ball.
Right.
So I was like, well, I'll do it. And that's how I got stuck there for the rest
It's
of my
always
career.
someone's like, fine, I'll do it. And next thing you know, they're like pro. You know? It's always like somehow you found this thing you love by happenstance. When one of the most frustrating things when I hang out with someone who's a goalkeeper or play goalkeeper is we're all watching soccer. There's an amazing goal scored. Half the crowd is enjoying themselves. Half the crowd are sad. And there's one goddamn person going, oh, their footwork was off.
All right, you're ruining the fun of the game.
It was a screamer. It was this. It was, look at the shot. And you're like, no, everyone else would have stopped that. He's going to get talked to this, or she's going to get talked to that in training. What is happening? Is that how you watch a game now, or can you watch
Yeah, you don't want to watch.
You don't want to watch.
us.
You don't want to join in on soccer Saturday.
I'm coming over to the Loyden house. If you could barge in, I'm barging in.
Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah.
2.0.
I'm fruit punch. I don't know what you are.
I'll be tropical punch.
There we go.
There you go. I'm Caribbean. So, can you not watch a soccer game, or do you focus solely on what the keeper's doing?
I mean, it depends. If we know the goalkeeper in goal, we're obviously fans and we're cheering. Like, I don't know Alison Becker, but I'm a Liverpool fan, so I watch that for fun. I'm not going to critique one of the best goalkeepers in the world that often, but I still do it. But no, typically when we're watching MLS or NWSL, we're like, what were they doing? What were they thinking? They could have had that. But we're obviously watching with a knowledgeable eye and being able to identify different things and have an opinion on who we think is the best and like who should be going to the World Cup, things like that.
Yeah. So speaking of that, who stands out from like the goalkeeping class now? Because I know they're like Adriana French was like one of the people that people were always surprised never really got a cap until fairly recently. Is anybody in particular that stands out to you that's just like, oh, this person's gonna definitely get us, another World Cup?
I mean, I feel like, and I don't know because I don't have knowledge of this, but I feel that Alyssa, Ashlyn, and AD will probably be the ones that go.
Okay.
Ashlyn is incredible. I've watched a few Pride games. She's so good.
She's amazing.
My wife
she's she would be my choice.
Yeah?
I love Ashlyn. I think she has a great presence. She's the best 1v1 goalkeeper in the entire world. Yeah, she can't strike the ball as far as some other goalkeepers, but I want a goalkeeper who can keep the ball at the back of the net.
Yeah. Can't you just get the center back to come back and kick the ball? I mean, is it that big of a deal?
Yeah, at the World Cup, you're going to have your center back come back and take your goal kick.
Why not? They're going to play with the sweeper, too.
That's what I'm saying. Ooh, let's bring it back.
Sweeper stopper.
The old WM's coming back. I mean, if you're a great goalkeeper, this one thing that doesn't necessarily equate to you stopping a shot shouldn't keep you from playing, I think.
It's certainly important. And when you play on the U.S. Women's National Team, you're using your feet way more than you're using your hands. I mean, you're there to be an outlet, to solve pressure, to initiate the attack, and it certainly is super important. But at the end of the day, I want that goalkeeper who's going to come up with that one big save and do everything else that they're supposed to do. So in my opinion, that would be Ashlyn.
How do you feel about, or this is for all three of you, how do you feel about the way goalkeeping seems to be changing, where it is becoming one of the sort of quote unquote the 11? You know what I mean? It seems like a lot of goalkeepers, Ederson seems to be leading the charge there, but it seems like you're now just as an important part of the buildup of the play as where previously you have like your Brad Friedels and stuff that just were like, I'll kick it, and then you guys to deal with it.
Yeah, it's like the attack starts with the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Now.
Mm-hmm. Or Thiago Motta, who was like, I consider them a midfielder, which is like, okay, well, Thiago, you need to stop smoking. You know what I mean? Midfielder? At least center back. Give us something, you know?
Well, it's super important. I mean, Zach Steffen had like an assist of assist a couple weeks, maybe it was last week, where the ball went from him.
The second assist.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really important, and being able to solve pressure and being an outlet to keep the ball and retain possession has become so important. It's hard to get possession back, and you can beat teams in transition. So being able to start the attack like a Jordan Pickford is going to be super important. And matter of fact, I think that's his X factor. Why he's actually on the team is because he can start transition and create opportunities for his team on the attack.
Is that something that maybe previously, like when you guys were coming up, you didn't really focus on footwork as much? And now that's like an integral part of the game if you're a goalkeeper? Because it seems to me like, I remember when I was young, someone said like, all right, dude, like athleticism, not your thing. But if you want to be something, they're like, catcher, pitcher, or like the long snapper. Like, you know what I mean? It's like these specialty things. No one else is doing it. Go do that. And like, I wouldn't have to work on other stuff. But now it seems like that's part of like, if you're in the future, if you're going to play soccer, you need to be someone who's just as good as a midfielder with the ball. If you're a goalkeeper, which probably 10 years ago didn't really matter as much. That was like a cool thing you could do, right?
Yeah. I mean, when I got to college, I did not take my own goal kicks. I couldn't get them outside the 18. No lie. Serious. Could not.
Yeah.
I grew up in a single family.
How'd it go backwards?
I grew up in a single parent home, so my mom couldn't take me everywhere, and I had one soccer ball. And I used to put freaking olive oil on my soccer ball and bring it to practice so it looked shiny and new. Like that's how I had one ball. And so
that might be the most Jersey thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Like,
no, seriously.
Put a little olive oil, a little EVO.
Like I wasn't getting a new ball. That was it. I wanted it to look nice and shiny and presentable. I would shine my boots at every training and game, but I had one ball, so who am I going to play with one ball and take goal kicks?
Right. Yeah.
And no one to teach me how to take goal kicks in the ghetto of Vineland, New Jersey.
Right.
So when I got to college, I had like a bag of balls and a field to go every day. And so I learned how to strike a ball every day before and after practice. And so being able to distribute the ball was a complete afterthought.
I'm curious, how do goalkeepers develop, I guess, almost like their personalities as far as screaming at their center backs, right? This seems to be a very common, I mean, it seems to be like, I don't know if it's a thing where coaches are like, they're basically the coach, right? To some degree, like on the pitch.
They're like the other captain.
Yeah, we always say that being a goalkeeper is synonymous for being a leader on the team. You don't have an option.
Yeah.
Whether you are to be a leader or not. If you
can't be a quiet goalkeeper.
You can't be a quiet goalkeeper.
Honestly, I could never play center back in front of you. You would have made me cry every game.
The thing is, and I always say this to our kids, is like, I was a very vocal goalkeeper and maybe too vocal sometimes.
That might be the nicest way to put like, I destroyed some souls.
However, I feel as though I did a really good job with having relationships with those players that were playing in front of me. So if I was screaming at them in a game, they weren't taking it personally and they knew that it was because I loved them and our team and I needed them to work harder or do better.
What is that balance though? Like, is it one of those things where like you got to like, all right, let me buy some beers after the game, like because maybe I was a little rough. Like, where's the balance of relationship building? Because a lot of people don't know that, but defenders are like the last line before the goalkeeper. So it's almost like you guys all treat yourselves like one unit. Mm-hmm. The defenders and the goalkeeper is like that's one part of the team. That's like a team in and of itself. So what is that balance that allows sort of where you have to like be their friend and like, hey, we're all cool, but also I'm gonna ridicule you if you don't get it right, because that's all we see when a goal goes in. Keeper immediately just blames the center back, like, what are you doing?
For sure. I think it's important for goalkeepers to know that they have to speak to their players in different manners based on different personalities of the personnel, right? If I'm playing center back with maybe someone like Jill, who's a little bit more on the sensitive side, then maybe my delivery needs to be a little bit better. And trust me, we would deal with this in our personal lives.
What about me? What is your delivery?
Tori, again, sensitive. No. But like maybe one of you guys, I can be like, hey, get your shit together.
Yeah.
I'm tough.
Yeah.
I just want everyone to know that.
That's the only way I respond, by the way. If someone's like, excuse me, would you mind doing this? I'm like, I'm never doing that. I guess I don't.
Me too.
So I guess I don't have to do that, is what you're saying? Cool.
Optional. Oh, it's optional to clear the ball? Okay.
If my wife's like, what are you doing? Why don't you do this? I'd be like, oh my God, I should do that.
Is there anything particular that stands out that you have said that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that to another human being?
Didn't you get a card?
I'll never admit.
Didn't you get a card in a game
She says
for that?
pass.
For yelling at your own teammate?
I may or may not have gotten a card for cursing at my own teammate in college.
That is hilarious.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it takes a lot because it can't just be a casual swear word.
It wasn't subtle.
I got a yellow once because I said kick the shit out of him, and I was like, oh, it's because I told him to kick him. He was like, no, it's because you said shit. He's like, also, here's another yellow for reminding me. You said kick. I was like, oh no, that's when the red one comes out.
Oops.
Yeah, my bad. I also was playing in jean shorts. So, we didn't take it too seriously.
So I did want to talk to you guys because you had worked with Sky Blue, right?
Shouts to Cloud9.
You played for Sky Blue, and you were coaching with Sky Blue as well. So we were at the Independent Supporters Council in Dallas at a conference, and so we got to meet the heads of the supporters group Cloud9, and sort of I think it's always different when you read stuff on the news about what's going on with clubs and all this other stuff, but when you see like a person being like, hey, look, this is what's really going on, and it's like a real bummer, and it's like a bit of a struggle,
especially someone who cares so much.
Exactly. So they were so just maybe a quick synopsis of like what was going on. And what I read was like there were issues with like locker rooms, resources. It was just like not much given to the Sky Blue players to kind of be able to help them do their job.
It was almost like a negligence.
Yes. So you
could hear the sighing,
but to some degree, I mean,
it's a level of frustration.
I'm curious, like what your experience was like. I mean, I think this stuff is fairly public that people weren't happy with it, but I think since you especially played for the team, you have a first-hand experience of what happened.
Well, I think first and foremost, we want to thank Cloud9 for bringing awareness to this issue. And when I was on the team, they had representatives at every single game, no matter if it was in Portland, Seattle, every game. They
Shouts
would
to
come
Cloud9, yeah.
Yeah, and they were super supportive and really, really were engaged with us and helping us try to grow the community of football in that area. But I think, like you said, you heard sighs from us, and I think what we're really frustrated with is the treatment of players not getting what they need to become a professional. So like a lot of these players are coming from more professional environments in college and then coming to our Sky Blue team where there was no locker rooms, there was no like support groups, the stadium was a college stadium, but like, I call games in the SEC and like these stadiums are amazing compared to what Sky Blue is playing in. And right. And you see what happens, like the best player in the world, Sam Kerr, leaves. Yeah. And Kelly O'Hara leaves because they put in the time and they're just like, we can't do anything anymore and we can't change it and we can't change it from the inside out. And so to better our own careers, we have to leave. Yeah. Which is really sad because they had two of the best players in the world on their team. And now it's, and draft players are like, well, I'm going overseas because I can't go to play for Sky Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were there. We were at the NWSL draft and we were just excited to see it and get to meet some of the future players in the NWSL. And all the chatter was about how when Sky Blue makes this pick, the player has already said they're not going to play there. And we were like, that's when we were first like really made aware, because that was before we got to to Dallas. We were like, what's really happening? Because we had heard chatter that there was like frustration, but we didn't know it was at that level where players were like, nah, I'm not going. That's got to be frustrating for someone who put their hard sweat and the blood, sweat, and tears into helping that team develop. And then we meet the supporters who are like, we're putting our all, we're putting our money on the line. We're going to these things. You can hear them chanting at the NWSL draft. And all of a sudden it's like you guys care way more than the owners do.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I think they do have players who really do care, and they have a coaching staff that really does care. I mean, Denise is their coach now, and she was my biggest advocate when I was a player. And she was the first person that told me, Jill, you're going to play on the national team one day. And she used to get up, at like 7 a.m., or we would train at 7 a.m. every day. I wouldn't pay her. She would just do it out of the kindness of her heart because she wanted to help me. And I truly do believe in Denise. I think she's a great coach, great person. I just think with the lack of resources, it's difficult for her to do her job and do her job well, where she's having to worry about housing and all these things instead of tactics, instead of football. And like, hey, where are we going to practice today? And is the grass going to be cut? Or we're at a town field. So like, hey, am I going to be able to train, or is it going to be too slow? So it's really unfortunate. And I think that there's definitely been opportunities to move facilities, to maybe sell the team. But I mean, from what we know now, that they're trying to make it better. So I guess that's all they can do from here on out.
That's a good. So they're stepping into the right. They're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I think at the very least, like we were talking before. I'm like, it's not. I'm not personally here to just like trash Sky Blue. It's like I think it's sort of similar to what Cloud9 is doing. It's just like raising some awareness because there is.
You have to learn from your mistakes. So sometimes you have to call those mistakes out.
Exactly, and we had Yael Averbush on the show, and she had tweeted just like a kind of nice statement saying like, if you are a fan of women's soccer, it might be, even if you can't go to games, buy season tickets somewhere, support a team, help the league grow, and it'll be a good start. So that's like a thing just in general, so it can sort of be on our mind. And if we can help Sky Blue in a way that will lead to these better resources, I think that is a thing that should be done.
Do you think it would help? Like in Europe, it seems like a lot of the women's teams are associated with the men's team. Do you think that would help in America?
I mean, it certainly would help. Shared resources wouldn't hurt anyone.
It's kind of happening in Orlando, right? And in Portland.
And in Portland. Yeah. But there are some other successful
Houston.
clubs. Yeah, there are some other successful clubs without an MLS support.
Yeah.
But it's like complete buy-in. Like the Seattle owner is amazing and just completely giving his team whatever they need and having one of the best coaches and some of the best players on their team, and they're happy. They're happy with where they are and that they're getting better and they're developing their careers and stuff. So it can be done. It's just maybe a little harder. But what Orlando is doing is incredible.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Actually, when Allie and Ashlyn announced their engagement, I showed my wife, and she saw the picture, and she's like, "Wait a minute. I know her." I'm like, "Ashlyn, you know Ashlyn?" I'm like, "How? You ain't from there." You know what I mean? And she's like, "No, I know her." She's like, "I follow her on Instagram. She's amazing." She's like, "I love her style." She's like, "She's a goalkeeper?" I was like, "What world am I in?" You know, I was like, she's like, "I remember when she cut her hair." She was like, my wife sees her as like a style maven.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
she was like a fashion icon as well.
And I was like, she's like, "Yo, she's so badass." And I'm like, "Yeah, Ashlyn is." I'm like, "Well, we had her wife or her future wife on our podcast." She's like, "Oh, I should listen." I'm like, "All right, I don't even know. How are we married?"
Well, now she's interested.
Yeah, now you get into it. I think, what do you do? Have you seen some of the scenes that's going on in Europe with the Juventus completely selling out their stadium for the women's team and just some of the way that these some of the teams are being supported out there? Do you think that's good, or do you think that's a sign that maybe some of the American players are going to start leaving here and going to Europe?
I don't know. I truly believe, though, that this is the best league in the world. Every game is super competitive. There's typically not blowouts like you would see in other leagues where maybe one or two teams are good and everyone else is struggling. I think our league is the best in the world, and I think players should want to stay here and develop our game here and be trailblazers for the next generation of young players and grow the league. I mean, it's the most successful women's league so far in the U.S. after 2 or 3 failed attempts. So they're doing something right. Yeah, some teams can clean up some areas, but they're doing things right. And players are happy, and that's why they're staying. Yeah,
there's no team named after like a scam internet phone thing. So we were moving in the right direction.
Are you making fun of my magic check?
The owner got arrested, didn't he?
No, he didn't get arrested.
Yes, he did. It turned out to be
You're
a scam.
hitting close to home there.
Magic Jack was a scam, wasn't it?
No, it
not
wasn't
the
a
team,
scam.
the actual product.
I mean, I don't think so.
You're like, I still use it to this day. I don't have an iPhone. I just plug these into USBs as I go about my day.
I love my Magic Jack and my DSL connection.
Yeah.
And no one's paying me to say that.
Yeah. Now, where can I plug in this record player?
Oh, my goodness. So the World Cup is coming up this summer. Are you guys excited about it? Is there any... I feel like this is one of the few times where I don't know. I'm not going to say the U.S. is not the favorite, but it's like the competition is definitely growing and getting a lot better. And we saw it in the She Believes Cup that the U.S. is not just running through these teams. So
which, by the way, shouts to us because America was so good that everyone kind of caught up, right?
Yeah.
See, boom.
And women's rights.
You're welcome.
And women's rights.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Please excuse my feminist wife.
Please. Let it go, girl.
No, Title IX had nothing to do with it. It was mostly just us playing.
Yeah. We're just incredible.
So how do you feel about this upcoming World Cup?
I'm
Wow,
excited to
they're
watch.
excited.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I thought that hesitation was ominous.
No.
I still think the U.S. is favorites to win. I mean,
Clearly.
our athleticism plus our young, talented players who are bringing like a tactical awareness to the game and their technique is amazing. I still think that we're heavy favorites. Our bench is so deep. We have some of the best players in the world, the best spine, I think, in the entire world. So, I mean, I think we're heavy favorites.
Okay.
I know in the past, Jill, way back in the past, Jill was sort of, one of the big knocks against her is she didn't play a lot of the youth players. She didn't play a lot of the young players. And I think you could see that maybe that was like a sign of like kind of a golden generation to some degree, right? But who do you think is like someone that if someone's starting to pick up women's soccer now for the first time, and you know all the big names, right? You know all the people that are been popular for a long time. Who are some of the young players that they should look out for that are like really going to shock everybody? Is there anyone that you guys that comes up to mind?
We've recently become bigger Julie Ertz fans, I think.
Yeah.
And she's awesome. And she's willing to take a tackle and she's willing to fight for her team, which I think is one area of question mark in some of like the younger players. Is there's no doubt that they're very talented, but are they willing to like fight in a bloodbath?
Right. Wow. This is Sparta. So.
Yeah, you certainly need that enforcer in there. I'm a huge Lindsey Horan fan. I think that she can do it on both sides of the ball, 18 to 18. She can set people up. She can score on set pieces. She's always a threat. But the young players like Rose Lavelle, Mal Pugh have come in and they're...
Calaprico, I think. As far as having that fiery kind of energy, Danny Calaprico, I think.
Well, she was at our show, and she was on stage with us at our show in Chicago. And afterwards, we followed each other, and she posted a clip. I was like, damn, she takes people out when she wants.
It was a bloodbath on stage. She was a maniac.
Got the real heart.
Yeah, she hilarious too.
Yeah, it's always kind of, I almost am dumbfounded at the end of NWSL seasons when the Red Stars don't do better than they do.
Sure.
Like, they have so much talent. And Calaprico in the middle setting up, like Sam Kerr. I mean, they should be favorites to win the league, in my opinion, but I don't know.
Fair.
Dopest jerseys though.
Yeah,
I love their kits, man. I wish let's make a double XL, will you?
Who would you get?
I'd probably get Calaprico just because I'd be afraid of her tackling me. You know what I mean?
Don't fight for anyone else.
Gordon, also Gordon, because our friend is dating her at the moment. Sarah L. Gordon.
Sarah Gordon. Yeah. I love the Red Stars kit in general.
It looks like the flag. It's so dope. I kind of wish the Chicago Fire had that. You know what I mean? Like as opposed to going with this red, like that sort of skyish blue. Not to use. I throw the ISH in there. And the 5 stars is so dope. And they have that dope zip up jacket that looks like mine, but it's those colors.
I need to get.
I'm all about merch right now.
I need to get a Rapinoe jersey. That's the one that
you just throw a legend on your back like that.
Right?
You're only 10 years overdue.
Well, let me go order my Mia Hamm jersey as well. See,
I'm just gonna be like, yo, you ever heard of Megan Rapinoe? You don't know things I know.
Maybe you're not up on these youth players as I am.
New and upcoming.
Oh my goodness. Well, guys, this has been unreal. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. So,
where can people find the Keeper Institute?
Well, they can visit us at www.thekeeperinstitute.com. That was
Start again. Honestly, you gotta start
12 W's in there.
Don't forget to go to
internet, and then you can get to the website.
Or just at the Keeper Institute on Instagram.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. And so in general, it's the purpose is to get young kids and obviously teach them all the ways of goalkeeping.
Yeah, we have like a holistic approach. So we try to educate them on every aspect of the position. So from the technical and tactical side to the mental side, we show them video. We have a performance coach. So it's kind of like a one-stop shop for goalkeepers.
I'm just curious. What's a mental exercise? How do you introduce that?
How long do you have?
You just kick balls at them, see if they flinch.
Just like, if I wanted to get into goalkeeping and I was starting out, what would be the first mental exercise I would kind of go through?
You can't hear this, but they all just went like, you ain't got it.
We can already tell we sized you up.
Yeah. You weak, son.
Was it the really wanting a Megan Rapinoe jersey? Give it away.
You could pass for Nani, though.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We love Nani all the time.
Took it and ran with
How young do you guys train?
8.
8 years
Yeah.
old. Yeah.
So if you have a 7-year-old who just headbutt
Don't send 'em.
their other sibling for no reason, sign them up to become a goalkeeper next year.
All right. Well, so follow them at the goalkeeper.
The Keeper.
The Keeper Institute. The Keeper
Yeah, yeah.
Institute. You guys are great. Thank you so much. So we usually always wrap the show by we just screamed like the Cooligans to the camera.
You'll know exactly what
So
it
you
is.
know exactly how it all works. So I'll wrap up the show. So for Tori Corsaro, for Maria Loyden, for Jill Loyden, my name is Christian Polanco.
I'm Alexis Guerrero.
And together, what are we?
The Cooligans!